there are not very elaborate purports, but Prabhupada's purports are very big. So we will not take very elaborate discussions, but we will try to understand what Prabhupada is telling. And I know many of you might have yourself explained these purports and given classes, but somebody, for them it will be a revision. We are just going through the purports, and then for somebody who have not completed, it is a support for them so that they can have this reading session, and we are parallelly trying to understand what Prabhupada is telling about the same subject matters. So we'll just read the shlokas and just 2-3 minutes we'll have just the explanation of Prabhupada's translations, and then we'll further read with our purpose. I'll read the shloka. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadhyasya Yatonvayaditarataschatmesha Vignaswarat Tene Brahma Hridayadi Kavaye Muhyanti Yat Suraya Tejo Varimadam Yata Vinimayotra Trisargo Mrisha Dhamna Svena Sada Nirastakuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. Yes. You'll take the translation once.
Yes, okay. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Respected devotees, please accept my pranams. I'm sorry because actually on the first day I had taken the translation which somehow suits Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur's translation and not Srila Prabhupada's translation. So since we are studying Srila Prabhupada's purport, very briefly I will cover this also, so that some of the devotees who are studying Bhagavatam for the first time and with us, they can understand better. So I will just very briefly do it. So this is the verse, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, like that. So now in this verse, we all understand the first line is clear to all of us. First line is, O my Lord Shri Krishna, I offer obeisances to you. I offer my obeisances to Bhagwan Vasudev. And Vasudev, Prabhupada explains, is the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, Krishna. So this is clear. And now this Satyam Param Dhimahi is also clear to all of us. So Param Satyam is the absolute truth, and Dhimahi means to meditate upon or to offer obeisances. So Dhimahi, if we take this meaning, meditating upon, so Srila Vyasadeva is saying, I meditate upon the absolute truth. So this much part is clear for us. So as we had seen in the first class, first presentation, that Dhimahi is the main verb and it means meditating upon. And who is doing that meditation? So subject is I, Srila Vyasadeva, or it can be even we, where Srila Vyasadeva and his disciples. So it can be let us meditate upon. So let's so now Vyasadeva is meditating upon Param Satyam. So Satyam Param Dhimahi is, we are clear with this. Srila Vyasadeva is meditating upon the Param Satyam, upon the absolute truth. So Param means the absolute or supreme, and Satyam is truth. So Satyam Param Dhimahi becomes, I meditate upon the absolute truth, or I meditate upon Shri Krishna. So, okay, so now we are done with this. Now the rest of the shloka. So as we had discussed in the first class, what are the rest of the shloka? They are adjectives for the object or the Param Satyam. They describe the Supreme Lord. So they are describing the qualities of the Param Satyam. So according to Srila Prabhupada's translation, we say there are 7 qualities of the absolute truth, or 7 adjectives for the Param Satyam. So how has Srila Prabhupada explained in his translation? We will see this. So there are 7 adjectives. So first is Janmadi Asya Yato. So I am, let us meditate upon or I meditate upon the absolute truth, who is Yatta, who is the cause of what? Janmadi, of creation, maintenance, and destruction of this material world. So that is the first line. Janmadi asya yata. I meditate upon the absolute truth, who is the cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. So this is done. Now second is Anvayat itarata shartheshva abhigya. So abhigya means who is fully cognizant or fully aware, who fully knows. That is the meaning of abhigya. And artheshu is purposes, anvayat directly, itrata is indirectly. So I meditate upon that. I meditate upon the absolute truth, who is directly and indirectly the knower of everything. That is the meaning of this phrase. He is directly and indirectly the knower of everything. I meditate upon the absolute truth, who is directly or indirectly conscious of all manifestations. Then it is third is Swarat. He is fully independent. He is the cause of all causes, but he himself has no cause. So I meditate upon the absolute truth, who is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. Now this is the fourth quality. Tene Brahm Hridaya Adi Kavya. He revealed the Vedas in the heart of Brahma. So this Adi Kavya is the original being who is Brahma Ji, and Brahm here means Vedas. So one who revealed the Vedas in the heart of Brahma, he is the Supreme Lord. Then comes this Tejo Vari Mridam Muhyanti Yat Surya Tejo Vari Mridam Yatha. So Surya means great personalities, and Muhyanti means they get bewildered. So even great personalities get bewildered. Means it is difficult for them also to understand Lord, and they also get bewildered. Srila Prabhupada is saying that they are getting bewildered. How? Tejo Vari Mridam Yatha. Just as how we think land to be water, or we see this Teja is fire, water, earth. So as we see, someone sees fire to be water or water to be earth. Similarly, in that way, great personalities also get bewildered when they see the Supreme Lord. So example is of Miraj, which Balaram Shakti Prabhu gave today. Like there is no water, but we see that there is water. But actually it is land only, and it is that illusion has been created because of the fire element of the sun and all. So that mirage is an illusion, but we think there is water, but there is no water. It is land actually. So similarly, the great personalities get bewildered. So example here is of this Brahm Vimohan Leela, where Brahma ji got bewildered. So Prabhupada is explaining this as Muhyanti Yat Surya. Even great sages and demigods are placed into illusion. How? In what way are they placed into illusion? Similarly, as how we get bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water. So this is the fifth quality of the absolute truth. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Then comes the sixth, Vinimayo Yatatri Sargo Amrisha. So how Srila Prabhupada has explained it, Srila Prabhupada says that only because of him do the material universes temporarily manifested by reactions of the three modes appear factual. So this three sargo is three modes of creation. So Prabhupada is telling that this material world seems real, but it appears factual. It appears factual, but actually it is only because of that Supreme Lord only. And then comes Dhamana Swain Sada Nirasta Kuhakam. So Srila Prabhupada has translated it. So Kuhakam is illusion and Niras is absence. Or Niras we saw last time, it means destroying, but here it means that it's not present there. Negation by absence. So Srila Prabhupada is explaining that I meditate upon the absolute truth who is eternally existent in his dham, dhamna. And that how is that dham? That dham is sada, always free from all kinds of illusion. So that is Srila Prabhupada's explanation for dhamna swain sada nirasa kuhakam. I meditate upon the absolute truth who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. So this is the seventh explanation of seventh adjective or the seventh quality of Krishna. So like this, we complete the full verse. So like this, so again, I will just revise. Now, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, I offer my obeisances to Bhagwan Vasudev. Then Satyam Param Dhimahi, I meditate upon that Param Satyam. And that Param Satyam has 7 qualities. So what is the first? Janmadi Asya Yato. He is the cause for the creation, maintenance and destruction of this material world and all the other manifested universes. Then Anvayad Itaratas Chartheshva Abhigya. So this is, he is fully cognizant, directly and indirectly of everything. Then this is the third, he is Swarat. He is fully independent. Then fourth is Tene Brahm Hridaya Adi Kavve. He revealed the Vedas in the heart of Brahmaji. Then Muhyanti Yat Surya. And even great sages get bewildered. Great personalities, great sages and demigods get bewildered. How they get bewildered? Tejo vari mridam yatha. Just how we see mirage like that, and we see water to be there, but it is land. Similarly, they also get bewildered. Vinimayo yatra trisargo amrisha. And then he says that only because of that Lord, that Supreme Lord, this material world appears to be factual. And then Dhamana Swain Sada Nirasta Kuhakam. So that Lord is eternally existing in his abode, which is always free from all kinds of illusion. So that is what Srila Prabhupada has explained. Now, I will just try to explain what is the difference between what we saw in the first session and what we saw in the seventh. Now, what we are seeing. So now, see what Srila Vishnu Chandra Thakur's translation says. He is taking this, that translation takes what I had explained in first class. Janmadi asya yato anvayat itaratascha as one. So that says that Sri Lord is the cause for creation, maintenance, destruction of this material world, and directly and indirectly. He is directly and indirectly the cause for this material world. So he is the material cause and efficient cause. So that was the first class. And now Janmadi Asya Yato is one, but this Anvayat Itaratascha has been taken with Abhigya. So this Abhigya, he is the knower of everything. So he directly and indirectly knows everything. This is what is Srila Prabhupada. Then Swarat is same for both of the translations. He is fully independent. And this Tene Brahm Hridaya Adi Kavya is also same. He revealed the heart. He revealed the Vedas in the heart of Brahma. So this is also done. Then Muhyanti Yat Surya is almost same only. It's like we can say the great sages and personalities, they get bewildered. Or we can say that it is difficult for them also to understand that Supreme Lord. So this Muhyanti Yat Surya is the same. Then Tejo Vari Mridam Yatha. Now, where is the difference here? So, this Mohyanti as Surya, the great personalities get bewildered. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that these great personalities get bewildered how? Just like Tejo Vari Mridam Yatha, just like how we mistake fire, water, and earth to be each other. Similarly, they are getting bewildered. Okay, but Srila Vishnu Chakravarti, the last translation which I had presented in the first class, that takes Mohyanti as Surya separately and this whole line together. Tejo Vari Mridam Yatha Vinimayo Yatri Sargo Amrisha as one. It is taking this as one. So this has been explained that just like get bewildered, Tejo Vari Mridam Yatha, just like one gets bewildered and by seeing fire to be and mistakes fire to be water or water to be earth like that. Similarly, what happens? People see Krishna and seeing Krishna's body, they think that it is made of Panchabhuta only, that Krishna's body is like us only. But that is not true. That is not true. That is actually an illusion. We think so, but that is not true. So here's the explanation that first translation takes this into account, this whole line together, and then Dhamana Swen Sada Nirasta Kuhakam. So this how first the explanation we saw that Supreme Lord is always Sada, he is destroying the illusion by his own potency. Okay. Today, when Balram Shakti Prabhuji has explained, what did he explain? That same translation it is there. So what he explained that now people are thinking Krishna to be ordinary. Now this Tejo Vari Mridam Yatha, people think Krishna to be ordinary. So how Krishna, but how Krishna is destroying Niras, Kuhakam, all such false arguments where people say that Krishna is like us, he is an ordinary being, his body is like us only. So that supreme truth is destroying all the false arguments. Kuhakam, all the false arguments. How? How is he destroying all the false arguments? By his transcendental form and by the strength of his devotees, which are part of his Sharup Shakti. So this Dhamna means, Prabhupada translates this Dhamna as transcendental paraphernalia, along with all transcendental paraphernalia. So in the translation that we saw today of Prabhuji, it is form, Lord's form, like Krishna is negating all the false arguments, including his by his transcendental form and by the strength of his devotees, which are due to, like that, and his Sarup Shakti. So it was explained this thing. So like that is the difference. So I hope it is clear what we had discussed in the first class and the seventh class. So this is Srila Prabhupada's translation. Okay. And now what I will request all the devotees who are studying for the first time and about studying this verse for the first time, if they can understand this verse in 11 parts, it will help them understand both the translations very nicely. Like if you can understand Om Namo, this all I have divided, I will be sharing this also. So Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. If we understand the meaning of this, then what is the meaning of all these? If we can separately understand, then we will be able to understand both the translations very nicely, and that will help us understand Prabhupada's purport and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary also very nicely. So like this. And okay, so fine. Is this okay for the devotees? Is it okay? Yeah. Yeah. If any doubts are there, when devotees, they can, like Shyam Vallabi Mataji had asked me yesterday. So if if she can, like she and other devotees who are studying it, if they go through this PDF and they try to understand, they have to sit for some time with this and try to understand and give some time. Yes, Mataji, Sham Vallabi Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. It is clear now. Then in that case, the word-to-word translation will also change, Mataji. For example, Trisargo means here 3 modes. Then
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Mataji. So it will change because anyway, the words have many different meanings. So what we are trying to do is we have to try to understand it in these parts, these phrases we have to try to understand.
okay,
If you,
okay.
and Mataji, if you just take out some time and if you go through it, just understanding this sloka and these words, meanings, the phrases meaning, and both the translations, it will become very clear. It is not very difficult. It just requires some time. Just you should give. That's all, Mataji.
For example, Mataji, Vinimayo Etra Trisargom Mrisha means you told Mishra Chakravarti Thakur explanation. We see Krishna, even though he is absolute, we see him as matter. So where is that word Krishna, Mataji? Which word represents Krishna in that?
Yeah, that is all details, Mataji. That details, that much study I have not done. And Vinimayo Yatra
Okay.
Sarva Amrisha, if we see the word by word meaning of it, let me just go through it. I'm not
Okay,
written.
thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Very nicely explained, Mataji. Thank you so much. It's
Mataji,
clear.
if there are any doubts, once you go through it now, if there are any doubts like on Monday or anything, if you get time in Saturday, Sunday, and you go through it and you're not able to get, then you can always ask me.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
now,
you so,
Mataji.
thank you so much, Mataji.
Yeah, yes. And when we, as Balan Shakti Prabhuji also told today, that as we will read the commentaries, this all meanings will get clear. For this all, we will understand these very nicely. But if we study ourselves beforehand, it will make us more easy for us to understand when Prabhuji is teaching us. So that's why I just explained.
Yes, Mataji. It's
Okay,
clear.
yeah. Thank you, Mataji. So we will go ahead. Then see now what I have done. Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji. Krishna Prem Prabhuji.
Haribol.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So, Yatra Trishko Trisha Amrisha, Trisargo Amrisha. So, with Prabhupada has translated that this material world appears factual, illusory, which is not there in the spiritual world. So is this material world, is it like the water on land, like the mirage, or is it really real?
Yeah, so this is actually when Prabhupada is saying this, what he means, this material world is real in the terms of its existence. It is real. It is not mithya, like how the Mayavadis, they say Brahm Satya Jagat Mithya. So this material world is not mithya. We don't accept. We accept Brahm Satya, but we don't accept Jagat Mithya. This material world is real only in terms of its existence. Then what is this Prabhupada? Why is he saying it is like that it is illusion or it appears factual? So what is illusion is that we think that there is happiness in this material world. There is an appearance that we think that we can be happy in this world. There is some happiness in this material world. That is illusion, Prabhuji. But this material world in itself is not illusion. Its existence is very much real. Okay?
Can I just ask you, if you don't mind? This is my
Yes,
because if you
Prabhuji.
see, Prabhupada has in his purport, he said, in the desert mirage, there is no actual water. There is only the appearance of water. Real water is somewhere else. So the manifested cosmic creation appears as reality, but reality of which this is but a shadow is the spiritual world.
Yeah.
So this whole material world, the actuality is there in the spiritual world. So this is like that. So what does he mean by that? Absolute truth is the spiritual sky, not the material sky. In the material sky, everything is relative truth. So, I mean, I understood it. I'm just one.
So this is actually what we had studied yesterday on yesterday, na. This Prabhuji is talking about the sixth para which we had studied yesterday. So he is asking this question, like this. Everyone is able to see the screen, na? This one, this part he is saying, asking that Sheila. Okay, 1 second.
Here, Prabhuji, the illusion Prabhupada wanted to explain is how he is telling there is something much more that is in the spiritual world, which people don't know about it. And that is the reason they are trying to get some pleasure here. Not that there is no pleasure or it is not there. It is there and there is some pleasure also, but that is not what a living entity is needing. When Prabhupada is writing, he means that there is something much more important and valuable for a living entity, and that is there in the spiritual world. And we all understand this point. Basically, Prabhupada wanted from the beginning only, he makes something very clear, like uh, he don't want any ambiguity and saying that, and he wanted to cut Mayavadis directly from the beginning. So if you see the first para, he says, first para it says Krishna starts, Prabhupada starts that Krishna is a person. And that's what he starts his para. So Prabhupada is always in that mood from the beginning. So this Kalpana that you were sharing also, that Prabhupada says Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya is Krishna is a person. And same thing when it comes to spiritual world and all, Prabhupada's mood is, he clearly tells, this is all illusory place and then there is spiritual world. Even with Brahmajyoti also he says it's a temporary place because Prabhupada's mood is like that. He is trying to. But as such, this material world is not unreal. It is real, but it is temporary. Yes, bro?
I understand that, Prabhu. So because nothing is illusory, because if anything is illusory, that means we are negating the energy of the Lord. But see that thing so that I can read from that, not this, the previous one.
Yes, 1 minute, I am English.
Yeah, here. See, we read only up till here, real water is somewhere else, but here is further is explaining the manifested cosmic creation appears as reality, but the reality of which this is but a shadow is in the spiritual world. Absolute truth is in the spiritual sky, not the material sky. In the material sky, everything is relative truth. There is no one truth. I mean, that is to say, one truth depends on something else. This cosmic creation results from interaction of the three modes of nature, and the temporary manifestations are so created as to present an illusion of reality to the bewildered mind of the conditioned soul, who appears in so many species of life, including the devatas like Brahma, Indra, Chandra, and so on. In reality, in actuality, there is no reality in the manifested world. There appears to be reality because of the true reality which exists in the spiritual world, where the Supreme Personality of Godhead eternally exists with his transcendental paraphernalia. So, I mean, this is, see, I'm not trying to analyze anything, but this I had always had this thing because the discussion is coming, I'm asking this. So here Prabhupada is very clearly, why is he saying this? There appears to be reality. However, because the true reality, which is there in the spiritual world, so it looks as if this material world is just a, I mean, sorry if I'm thinking like this, but I could understand the meaning from this, as if that is a reflection of the spiritual world in the material world is this material creation. I mean, this is what, why is Prabhupada wanting to say this?
Yeah, it appears to be reality, however, because of true reality which exists in the spiritual world, whereas the personality of Godhead eternally exists, it is transcendental paraphernalia.
It's like a chapati is there in my hand. The chapati is seen as chapati in the mirror, that mirror, the chapati in the mirror is appearing to be real, but it's not real. It's only a reflection of the chapati which is there in my hand. This is what I could understand from what he's saying. Though many places Prabhupada said also that it is real, it cannot be, it's only illusory, as what you all said, that it appears to be as if it's a place for enjoyment. I could understand that. But how do we address this?
We can
discuss this later. I'm sorry
no,
to see, because
no,
it's a
this
study. It's a
no,
study,
bro. We
so
want
I'm raising
discussion.
this. Yeah.
No, I am also
Sadhguru Prabhu,
wanting
I
to.
think Narsimdev Prabhu wants to give one example.
Yeah,
Can we
yeah,
take it?
yes, bro. I will unmute. Yes,
Krishna,
bro.
yeah, Krishna Prem Prabhu, I'll give one example for this illusory shadow, which you wanted to have. So
Yeah.
have you seen in this world a tree which has got a root on the top
Yeah,
and branches on the
yes.
bottom? Have you seen?
Yeah, in
Krishna
the
Prem
river,
Prabhu?
no, when you see the reflection. Yeah, when you see the, are you hearing me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, where you see the reflection of the tree in the water.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
There is
that's
no
what's given
actually,
in the Bhagavad Gita, the 14th chapter. Yes, I know.
So that's what the reflection, the tree, there is no such tree which has got a root up, but
Right.
when you go on the shore and on the water, you can see the reflection. So the original is like the way we see, but the reflection shows something else. Similarly, this original is there in the spiritual world, the happiness and all other things there in the spiritual world, but we see the reflection here. That does not mean the tree is not existing, or tree is there. So in the material world, we can see the things, it's real, but what we are expecting, the real happiness, that's only illusory, which is there in the spiritual world. That's the example, I think, if it makes sense to you.
No, I fully understand that, Prabhu. But going by your example of the tree, which is there on the bank of the river, that means you're comparing the tree in this material world, just a comparison, to the reality in the spiritual world. And there is no, the reflection of the tree in the water is like the material creation, right? So we are not saying the tree is not there. So same way, we are not saying that it is not there in the spiritual world. What is seen here, are you following, Prabhu? Going by your example, if we analyze, that means this material world is the reflection of the tree in the water. Am I making myself clear if you go by the words?
Yeah, so that's the reflection which we see, and the original tree
Yeah.
that we are seeing, that's there in the spiritual world.
That's the spiritual world. So what is this? This is also real? Is the reflection of the tree in the water also real?
No.
Is the reflection is virtual, right?
Yeah, so that reflection is just a shadow. It's just a shadow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Prabhuji, Krishna Prem Prabhu, I'm understanding what you are saying. You are saying that this tree, that reflection of the tree is actually not real. But we are
Yes.
saying that this material world is real. But what is not real in this material world is that we think there is happiness.
I
Right,
agree.
na?
I agree. I understood.
Yeah.
Kalanidhi Prabhu has
So
very
Balram
good
Shakti
point.
Prabhuji, so Balram Shakti Prabhuji has explained this thing to us, that actually all the material analogies, now we are using a material analogy to explain this spiritual reality, but all the material analogies, they fall short. They are incomplete. They cannot no material analogy can completely fit in and describe the spiritual truth. So what Narsimdev Prabhu
Mataji,
explained.
I agree. I'm not saying no. So why did Prabhupada write this here? It is so
Yeah, that is
glaringly
true.
seen over here.
1 minute.
That is one.
Here, Kalanidhi Prabhu has very nice point to say. This is true. I'll just add. Maybe this will answer some of the point. What Kalanidhi Prabhu says, anything relative and temporary is also called illusion. The words convey different aspect of matter. So what Prabhupada is giving here, he is giving one aspect of matter. And also material energy of the Lord is real, and hence everything manifested is also real. But only thing is, it does not have all the qualities of internal energy of the Lord. So it is also real, but does not have all the qualities of the spiritual world. Also, it is only these words are conveying a different aspect of matter. It is not conveying everything about here. One aspect is covered, that it is not real in the sense is one aspect. because it is not covering all the qualities of the spiritual. Like a shadow is also the tree, but it does not have all the qualities of the tree. It can have only a shape, it can have the size, it can have some aspect, but it cannot have all the aspect of the tree. But you cannot say shadow is not real, because shadow is there. That means material world is also there, but it is not covering all the aspects. That's how what Prabhupada is telling. It
I agree.
appears to be reality, but it is not complete.
Yeah. Now the next thing which comes as a result of this, that what we dream, okay, is it real or unreal?
This is also an analogy to understand. There are 3 levels of this analogy to understand that aspect. When you are going through a dream, you have all the feelings, all the emotions. Are the emotions real? Yes, the emotions are real. Am I getting that pain? Yes, I am getting that pain. I am getting pleasure. So we are going through it and we are experiencing it. And the experience is real. I cannot say it was, I didn't had any experience. It's illusory. No, the experience is real. But it is, this analogy is limited. It in the sense means you cannot say in the dream it is only it's something happening within your mind. But when it comes to this material world, it is really happening. The experience is much more intense than what it happens in a dream. So the analogy is making us understand some aspect, but it is not completing everything. It is trying to help us understand how this material world is illusion. That's why we give the example of a dream, but it cannot completely explain the situation. Like if dream is just for few hours, we say, okay, 70, 80 years of life, but it is making us understand only some aspect of it to make us understand. But you cannot just give up the dream, and we cannot give up the material world unless you get that self-realization. We cannot give it up. So,
Yeah. So Gaurang Mahaprabhu has said, no, Jiva Jago, Gauru Chandra Bole. So we are sleeping on the lap of Maya, and we are experiencing all these emotions which are appearing as real. But when we wake up to our true self, all this will be real or it will be unreal. See, this is my, because of Prabhupada's statement here, it's not yesterday or today that I read, it's the day before. So, and because the discussion never came, and because it's happening now, so I'm asking all this. I also fully agree that it is only illusory. I agree fully well. But how do we understand this? So I gave you 3 different aspects. Like I told you, when I hold the roti in my hand, it is real. But the reflection in the mirror, it also appears to be real. But you cannot get any satisfaction just looking at the roti.
but you have some
get it.
aspects of roti in the mirror also. You'll have the shape, size, and some
I
things
agree.
on there. You'll get some part of it, not complete. So similarly, this material world is also having some aspects of the spiritual world, but not complete.
I agree with you. Then I gave the second, what Prabhu gave, Narari Prabhu gave the example of the tree on the reflection of the tree in the water. Third thing, what I gave is the dream. And fourth thing is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Gauru Chandra Bole, Jeev Jago, Jeev Jago. So when you see, take all these 4 things into consideration, is it that the material energy is real, but the manifestations of the material energy is going according to what we think is true?
It is temporary, bro. It is not unreal. Material nature is real. Means the manifestations are also real. But because material nature changes, the manifestations are temporary. In that way, it is unreal.
Okay, Prabhu. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Anybody want to share any points on any of your opinions on this? Okay. So yeah, what we will do, we can have more discussion on this point once we complete this chapter. Balram Shakti Prabhu will also be joining for question answers at the end of this chapter. Maybe we can have further discussion on it. If it is not clear for somebody, this question will be noted, and he can give his perspective also, and we can have some little elaborate discussion. So don't worry that this is not the end. We'll be having further discussion.
Prabhu, it was a very nice discussion. See, unless we churn out, see, many people, unless we ask out, it will not make it very.
No, it is good, bro. You are asking,
please
and it's
don't
helping others
misunderstand.
also.
Yeah. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
No, your asking is actually helping others, honestly. And it is making us also think and make us understand more deeply. And we want also, it is not just we just go reading on. We want a deeper understanding and what clarity in this. So it's really good. Please
Okay,
always.
Prabhu. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Please forgive me if I've offended anyone. I have no intention. It is just
No,
because the
bro. We
conversation
want this
was there.
discussion only. It is not just reading session. It's a discussion session. We want
Hare
everybody to
Krishna.
participate, and that is the reason. And
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please proceed, Hari Bol.
okay. Why I am telling Balram Shakti Prabhu? Because some more things, some more perspectives from other perspectives of acharyas we can get. So that's the reason I was telling we can continue this. We may have some of the discussions, we can give it when he comes also. And some things which we are clear, we can continue. Means if some issue is clear with us, then we can go on. We will not ask him like that. But please participate. So we'll just go through the next purport. So here the chief engineer of this. I think
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I Mataji, yes, Sarita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam. I have joined just now for this discussion. Can you summarize what is told earlier, Prabhuji?
From this question answer session, Mataji, before that also.
Just you summarize the whole topic, Prabhuji. Just I have joined because earlier Prabhuji class I couldn't able to join because of exceeded. So I joined in YouTube and then there is relax and I joined.
Okay. We just had discussion on the.
Mataji, are you in the group already? In the group added?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
So we were having discussion on the translation, Mataji. Now in this we had very interesting. We had a discussion how this material world is what Prabhupada is telling. There is no reality in this material world, and also Prabhupada is making this statement of how it appears to be reality, but it is not true. So that was our discussion. So we were seeing that like a shadow is also representing the form of the object, but it is not having all the qualities of the object. Similarly, this material world is a reflection of spiritual world, but does not have all the aspects of the spiritual world. In that way, it is not real, but it is true. It is true means in the sense it is not illusory what Mayavadi says. So that is not our understanding. And then there are different analogies to explain the shadow, reflection in a mirror, or a dream. They are explaining some aspects of this to make us understand what is this material world. So this is our discussion till now.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
iPhone.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept those things. Vanamali, yeah, I forgot to write. Yes. So I just try to I just want to attempt to answer the Prabhuji's question. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So I mean, first of all, what is unreal or temporary, Prabhu? So first of all, you have to define what is unreal. What is real? So then you can say why this material world is unreal. So I think what real means, which gives you complete satisfaction and is eternally present. So this material world doesn't give you complete satisfaction and it is temporary. So that is why it is unreal. But as for truth, it is present. It is not absent like that.
Yes.
So I don't know what that is.
Yes, bro. Thank you. It's nice perspective, because which is not satisfying us, that is not complete. Yeah, because it is incomplete. That's why. Yes, bro. Thank you. So now we will just continue.
Radha Pramod Prabhu, I just actually wanted to complete my PPT. Still 2 pages are there. Can I please?
Okay. We have one more question, I think.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In the previous class, someone asked the question Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. invocation prayer. In the purport, in the first paragraph, Prabhupada quoted Vasudeva as the son of Devaki and Vasudev. Why it is specifically mentioned there? Rather, the complete manifestation of Krishna is Vrindavan Krishna as Yashoda Nandan.
Yes, Maja. This also we had discussed. Discussed means we also didn't get the answer for it. We thought when we'll just check with Balram Shakti Pro. Maybe if you continue for 2-3 sessions more, or once our first chapter completes, then we'll have Prabhuji's session where we are having some questions on car parking. So we'll
Yes,
ask.
yes.
This is also one of the questions. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Please. Thank you. Yes, you can share
Yes,
your complete your.
Prabhuji. Yeah, I'll just I will just complete my presentation. It's just 2 pages left. Yeah. So yes, so this all we saw. Okay, so now what I did, and I have tried to do is, now there are total 14 paragraphs in Srila Prabhupada's purport, which we are reading. So all these phrases now, how Srila Prabhupada is explaining, where he is explaining which phrase, I tried to map it. So para 1 to 4, I already explained yesterday that in paragraph 1, Srila Prabhupada is explaining this phrase, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Para 2 and para 3, he is explaining Janmadi Asya Yato. Para 4 and 5 is Satyam Param Dhimahi. So this para 5 we saw yesterday. Para 5 and para 6. These 2 paragraphs, 5th and 6th, we had seen yesterday, where Srila Prabhupada was talking about this Satyam Param Dhimahi, and where we talked about that, how we have to very systematically understand Srimad Bhagavatam. It is not that we directly jump to the 10th canto, and though the essence of Bhagavatam is the Raj Panchadhyay, but still we cannot directly jump to it. It should be very systematic. We have to gradually go from first canto and gradually finish first to 9 cantos, and then only we can go to the 10th canto. So we had seen that, and then so I've just done this Dhimahi. Then he explained what does it mean. It is Gayatri mantra, and it means meditate upon, like that. So this is para 5, and para 6 was the last para which we had done yesterday. So if you study paragraph 6, you will find all these 3 things are there. So now in 6th para, which we were discussing also now, Prabhupada is mentioning this only about the material world and the spiritual world. How material world, there is an appearance of happiness. It's seeing there is some, but actually there is no happiness here. So how the material world appears to be real, but it is not real. Just how we mistake. Then Prabhupada is giving this example of desert. We see water. That is mirage only. We see water, but actually there is no water. And then Srila Prabhupada says that real water is somewhere else. So similarly, there is an appearance of happiness in this material world, but there is no happiness. But it does not mean that there is no happiness anywhere. Real water is somewhere else. So real happiness is somewhere else. And where is that real happiness? That real happiness is in the spiritual world. So that is what we discussed. And this Dhamana Swain Sada Nirasta Kuhakam. This also in the last line, if you see of that purport, Srila Prabhupada is telling this thing, that there appears to be reality, however, because of the true reality which exists in the spiritual world, where the personality of Godhead eternally exists with his transcendental paraphernalia. So that last line of paragraph 6, it talks about Dhamana Swain Sada Nirasta Puhakam. It is talking about this. And this Muhyanti Yat Surya is just the line before it. where he is saying that that many great this material cosmic creation, many great personalities like Brahma, Indra, Chandra, they also get bewildered like that. So para 6 is talking about these three. So similarly, now the next two paragraphs, para 7 and para 8, they will talk about this aspect. Anvayat itarata sharteshwa abhigya swarat. And similarly, para 9, para 10. So I have done this, and I think that will be useful when we are studying the purport, if we can understand the phrases, and we can try to understand in every purport which aspect of the spiritual truth, which of the 7 qualities Srila Prabhupada is talking about, that can really help us. So
Yeah,
I
before we
completely
end in just 1 minute, I'll just read some of the points by other devotees who have shared in the chat box. Anadi Krishna Kshepru, he was telling in this, I think the reflection does not literally mean that it is non-substantial like a reflection in a mirror, which does not really exist. It means that the characteristics that we are experiencing from the material world is non-substantial. It is Satchit Ananda. And while we are perceiving permanence, happiness, and cognizance in this material world, so he shared his understanding. And then we have Shyam Mukund also. He was telling it is like for living entity, fish out of water, for soul real happiness in the spiritual world. Yeah, and then Naveen Gopal he shared that our identification with material world is illusory, is what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning. And Kalpana Mataji, she was telling material energy is real, but the experience is not complete, so it is relative. So, and so these are some of the thoughts. Thank you all very much for your participation. And yeah, Vanmali Prabhu, we will have our discussions tomorrow. We are out of time. So please keep your questions and we'll have discussions. Thank you.